Okay. Hey guys, letting some more people in here. You're right. It's like a lot letting people in. So, hey everyone, I'm Amberly Lago, and I'm so excited that you're here joining us today because I have my good friend with us, Brooke Hemingway, and her husband, Dr. Thomas Hemingway, to share with us all things about how to really take your health back. Or for me, I'm like restarting today. I just started this 3-day fast. It's the first time I've ever done a fast, but I am so passionate about health. And Brooke is a gut health expert. She is a speaker. She's got masterminds. She does coaching. She is the founder of Align for Success. And then we have her husband, Dr. Thomas Hemingway. He's a physician. He's got a podcast out there too that is just rocking it, all about modern medicine, and a surfer, and they have 6 kids. And so I just wanted to share how I started taking these products was, of course, I love Brooke and I love her family, her husband, but also I just love the energy that she has. And she sent me a product for energy and gut health, and I just started taking it. I didn't know anything about it. I probably wouldn't have even tried it unless she sent it to me. And I tried it, loved it, and said, can I have more? And what it has done for me, I don't know if any of you, do any of you have chronic pain? Like I have CRPS, so I've got pain. I know Angie is my friend. We actually met on Instagram through our other friend, Dawn Marie. She's here. She is amazing at how she works out and does everything, and lives with some chronic pain. But I was really interested in getting more into gut health and taking inflammation down. And once I started the products, for the first time in 11 years, I could actually see my ankle bone. And I didn't tell my husband what I was doing differently, but he saw me sitting on the couch and he's like, oh my God, what is going on? What are you doing? Like, I can see your ankle bone. I had no more cankle. But more than anything, it gives me energy. Like Brooke was just saying, we just got back from a long day of travel. And I feel like taking your gut health seriously, taking your health back allows you to keep showing up and doing the things that you really want to do. And when I really got serious about it was when I had a really good friend of mine. She knew I was really struggling. And she said, Amberly, your impact is only as big as your health as you are healthy. And I was like, oh, wow, like I want to do big things. I want to make an impact, but we can't really enjoy the things unless we look at our health and start with our health as our foundation. So I started this reset. I've been taking these products for gut health, energy, inflammation, and my immunity. But I decided to do the 3-day fast. It's called the 3-day reset because I've never done it. And I want to see what it feels like. And truth be told, just a few days ago, I'm still on one medication, prescription medication for this nerve disease I was diagnosed with. And I couldn't get my prescription. And I thought, well, what perfect timing to go ahead and just take my health back. I'm going to go see another doctor, by the way, but the prescription's called Lyrica and they wouldn't fill it. I don't know if it was because I was in a different state or what it was, but I thought, well, maybe this is just the answer or blessing that I'm looking for. And just maybe if I get to the root cause of this, I won't have to take any of that medication. And so I wanted to get the inflammation down, wanted a reset, wanted a clean slate. But more than that, y'all, I'm not going to lie, I want to lose a few pounds. But first of all, thank you for being here, Brooke. I would love for you to start us off. Thank you for taking the time to share with us the importance of gut health and root healing. And if you would just tell us a little bit more about gut health and how it's so important and connects to everything that we do, including helps with depression. Okay, you get into it.
Yeah.
You're the expert.
You got it. No, I also just wanted to piggyback onto what you were saying is that like you're like, I wouldn't mind losing a few pounds. And sometimes you might look at someone like Amberly and be like, oh my gosh, you're like perfect. You're so fit or whatever. But have you ever experienced where you don't feel like you're at your peak? Like, everybody else could look at you and they could think like, "Oh, she is so amazing." Like her body or whatever, like is so amazing. Like she doesn't need to do anything. Angie's shaking her head. Well, that was actually me about 7 years ago. I have over 20 years experience in fitness as well. I was a fitness instructor and trainer. For 10 years, I was an ICU nurse. Thomas is a physician. And so I was that girl that was like teaching the classes, looked like I was totally fine, super, healthy looking, but really just healthy ish. I had a lot of habits that weren't so great. And I certainly did not feel great. I had a lot of anxiety. I'd had depression on and off. I had a lot of headaches, trouble sleeping, sugar cravings, inflammation, which I didn't know was inflammation at the time because even though I have this health background, inflammation wasn't something we talked about, right? So puffy hands, puffy eyes. I would get up in the morning and my feet would kind of hurt and I'd have to walk a little bit gingerly at first. But basically, I was getting closer to 40 and my body felt like something was off. But everyone would look at me and be like, what do you have to complain about? Like, there's nothing wrong with you because I looked fine. And a lot of people look fine, but they don't feel fine. Put a 1 in the chat if that's ever been you, right? And so don't judge Amberly because she's like, oh, I want to lose a few pounds, right? Or me if I say I want to lose a few pounds. It's because we know how we feel our best. And we know when our body is just like firing on all cylinders. But what most people don't know is what gets your body out of whack and what gets your body out of balance and what just kind of starts triggering these little, I call them like little alarms. When you're in the car and like the warning light goes off for like changing the oil. Well, twice I've killed a car because I didn't pay attention to that. He will verify this. Twice I have like blown an engine because I didn't pay attention to the oil light. Well, guess what? All the freaking time. Your body is like, warning, warning, warning. Like those headaches you get in the morning, you can't sleep at night, you want all that sugar, your feet hurt, like all these different things. Warning, warning, warning. And I just kept hitting the ignore button instead of the reset button. And I was just ignoring. And finally, one day I was like, something has got to change. And that's why I turned to looking for something that I said I would never try. I was not into supplements. I was a fitness and diet person. Like just eat well, move your body, everything's good. But the only problem is that wasn't working. So I started looking and I found gut health and I did find these products and I went into it not caring where the products came from as long as they worked and as long as they were good ingredients. And that's what I would say about anything is like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. Look a little bit deeper. Do your research. Make sure that what you're putting into your body is actually good because you can walk into a GNC or even a Whole Foods and you could pick up a $50 vitamin that's crap, but it's in a beautiful package. And you think, oh, well, it's at Whole Foods, so it's good. Well, not necessarily. Right. And so I found a fantastic set of products that focused on what was behind the warning light. And the things that's behind all those little symptoms you're experiencing are imbalances in your gut microbiome that create a whole host of problems from your skin to your mood to your immunity to your vitamin production to digestion to autoimmune things. I mean, it affects everything. What's going on in your gut, those trillions of living organisms in your gut affect everything. Okay. The second thing is imbalances in your blood sugars and your hormones. If your hormones and your blood sugars are all over the place, things are going to start to malfunction. You're not going to have the same energy. You're going to start to gain weight. You're going to feel sluggish. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to be less focused. You're going to start eating in a way that's not very healthy. Your body shape and composition is going to change, right? And nobody really wants that, especially women, right? We don't like that at all. And then the third thing is too much inflammation. Okay, so inflammation is like one of those, I call it like a silent killer, kind of like high blood pressure. You don't necessarily know you have high blood pressure or know you have inflammation, but inflammation is one of those things that creates a whole host of problems and breakdown in the body. And so these products overall that Amberly started on focus on gut health, blood sugar balance, and inflammation. That's the root of taking care of your health, whether it's mental health, weight, skin deficiencies that you have, energy and sleep issues, digestion issues, or chronic issues. That's what it's always going to come back to, is where are you off in those three things? And like Amberly said, she doesn't have a kinkle anymore. And so she started on our core foundational products called the Triplex. It's the gut health system. She also started using things like Active. I love how convenient everything is because it just comes in sticks. You can throw it in your bag, in your purse, etc. You can take it with you when you travel, but you just put this in a bottle, you shake it up, and this is the Clean Energy, Mental Clarity, and Focus drink, right? Or this one that's we call the pink drink. It's antioxidants and minerals, focuses on balancing your blood sugars. Also has some natural anti-inflammatory benefits and prebiotic fibers that feed the good gut bugs. And so these are portable. You can mix them together. Super easy to take, which I think is important for anybody that wants to get healthier. If you're reading that book, the gut, what is
Super
it?
Gut.
Super Gut.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great book, but it's not practical for the common person to be expected to mix up their own quote unquote yogurt mixture with emptying capsules of probiotics into yogurt and then cultivating it for several days. Like, I love the science behind it and all of that, but I just don't think it's real practical. So I think one thing that's important is just to have a system that is easy. It's easy to replicate. You can do it when you travel. You can share it with friends. Like, I mean, do all you guys want to mix up your own yogurt and make it and do that yourself over the course of several days? I mean, it's just,
Right.
I would love to, but it's going to be challenging.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I had to have something that was easy. And I admit, I honestly didn't look at any of the ingredients at first when I started. And the only reason I did it was because it was from you and I trusted you. So I was like, oh, if this is what she takes and jumps around dancing, working out 6 for 6, has 6 kids, like, yeah, bring it. And so I didn't tell anybody about it and for the first 6 months. And then I started having people DM me or text me or reach out and say, Amberly, what are you doing that allows you to do all the things that you do, even though you have chronic pain? Like, what are you taking? And I started sharing. And the reason that I really want to share more is because I shared this with one of my friends and she called me in tears and said, thank you so much. I just found the solution. I can do more of the things that I love. This has helped me. And I thought, okay, well, this is very selfish of me not to share it. And then I think too, probably the only reason that I tried it and stuck to it is because I didn't feel pushed into it. If I would have known, like, oh, you know, here's this and that, I probably, but I was like, I trusted you, so I tried it, and it has changed my life. And I'll tell you one more thing, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this, Dr. Thomas Hemingway, is that I was on 2 different medications, and I was on a pain medication. And, you know, I would always say consult with your doctor, but I have been able to cut my medications down to 1 prescription. And I take, you know, 1 pill a day, and I'm maybe going to not even have to do that. We'll see. But what are some of the results that you see in people like me that have like chronic pain and they want to have more energy and do things? Is that like, have you heard that before where people have been able to cut out their medication?
Yeah, no, definitely. And there's a couple of different reasons for that. And they can be everything from pain medications to blood sugar balance issue medications. We're not talking about insulin. If somebody is on insulin, like, definitely they need to be speaking with their doctor, because any small adjustment in their diet, what they're eating, will affect how much insulin they give themselves. But for the most part, what happens is that when your gut gets healthy, it actually partners with you to do so many amazing things. And one of them is to, like with somebody like yourself with chronic pain, is you produce your own natural sort of painkiller like, medicines, if you will. These are actually a natural opioid that your body can manufacture itself. And the gut can help do that. The happy hormones like serotonin, over 90% of it is actually made in the gut. Like, who knew, right? And these, once you get your gut back into balance, you can produce these neurotransmitters, happy hormones, even endocannabinoids that are natural, that your body can make from just you getting yourself healthy. And not only can it produce them in the gut, but they can actually be more sensitive to them, so they work better. And that's one of the primary things that happens, especially with your so-called blood sugar balance or your insulin, is that it just works better when you get your gut healthy. You become more sensitive to it instead of resistant. The most common problem out there nowadays is insulin resistance, with almost 9 out of 10 of us having some degree of that, and most of us don't even know it. And the primary way to balance that starts with your gut.
Yeah.
Hippocrates said this 2,000 years ago. He said, all disease begins in the gut. I say that all health begins in the gut. Like, you can literally turn your health around. Every health issue known to man, from inflammatory things to heart disease to, blood sugar problems to even cancer, like all these things break down in some way, shape, or form to what can be helped with a balanced gut, with decreasing the inflammation. Inflammation is at the root of every condition. And the cool thing I like about what Amberly started with, which is the basic signature kind of product, the triplex, which I take myself each and every day, is that one of the key goals is to decrease inflammation. And it can show up and help us in so many different ways. And one of them is with pain perception, with pain management. And so it's such a beautiful, simple concept, which I love.
Isn't that cool, Amberly, that your gut produces those things that are like your natural endocannabinoids and like pain,
Yes.
It's so rad.
Also, I thought it was almost too good to be true. And so that's why I didn't even want to share it. I thought maybe it's coincidental, maybe it's too good. But one thing is, I went to go get my hair done, and my hairdresser said, okay, what's going on with you? Like, what have you been doing different in the last 3 months? This is like over a year ago. And I said, what do you mean? She said, you have new hair growth all over your head. I'm like, I do? She goes, yeah, what are you taking? I want it. So that was also something that my body just started, because we talk about skin and hair. I couldn't believe it. Now, you can't tell today by the way my hair looks, but Janet here in the chat says that her mom's 83 and she was able to come off of her pain meds. That's like a miracle.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing. And that in your hair, like remember how I was talking about these warning signals, right? Your hair falling out. My hair was falling out when I started. It's like, these are the little warning signals. And when you get your body back into balance, because I would say that these supplements, that if I could break it down to one word about, what Plexus is about, is it's about balancing your body, bringing your body back into balance or homeostasis. And we do that through the gut. We do that through the hormones. We do that through inflammation. And it's not just all about the reset. The reset is a part of the plan. And so that's why we wanted to start by talking about the foundation, because truly what your goal should be is long-term health, right? And long-term sustainable health. And this creates a simple system where you have, simple little drink mixes, a couple capsules. You can take it anywhere. It's sustainable. And this is your core system to take care of your gut, your blood sugars, and your inflammation. But then when you add the reset in, it kickstarts a different aspect, and it does something different than the core products do. And so I'm going to show you the reset. I love that it just comes in one box. And we're going to talk about not only weight loss benefits, but also what are the health benefits and what's the science behind doing something like this? Because some people that are like super anti-diet, which guess what? We're anti-diet as well. But people that are anti-diet or think something like this is gimmicky, it's actually the opposite of that. It's actually phenomenal for so many reasons. And we're just like super pumped about it personally. And Thomas doesn't need to lose a pound, you guys. He has had a 6-pack for his entire 48 years. It's so not fair. It's really disgusting. But I enjoy it. I like it. But, he doesn't need to lose a pound, but he believes in the reset as well, and in doing the reset for health reasons. So here, again, back to portability and convenience. How many of you guys have tried to do a juice cleanse? Or you've tried to just make all your own bone broth? or you've tried to piecemeal together from different blogs, like what you're supposed to do a cleanse, or you got to make your own cayenne pepper, whatever. Most people can't do that. So this is, you open it up, and like Thomas showed you, it's 3 days, day 1, 2, 3. You pull out day 1, and everything you need for the day is there. Okay. You open it up, it's got everything you need. It's got your drink mixes, it's got your bone broth, right? It's got your one protein shake that you're going to have that day. It also comes with a guide. If you read this
step
guide,
by step, it's idiot
step by
proof. It's
step.
Thomas proof. I hate to follow instructions, but it makes it super easy.
It's Thomas proof. But the cool thing about it is you don't have to be like, you don't have to plan to stay home for 3 days, right? Normal cleanses or juice fasts, like you got to stay home all day. Like, guess what? Just put it in your bag, put it in your suitcase, take it to work. It tells you how to take it on the back. Each day you grab your box and you go about, and it is not a starvation diet.
No, it's not.
It's a nutritionally supported fast. So this is not a water fast. This is about 550 calories of nutrition each day. I love the macro breakdown. So talk to us a little bit about the difference between a juice cleanse and something like this.
Yeah. So first of all, I think when people hear the word fasting, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to go without something. I got to starve myself. I got to, this is not that. So the cool thing is, if I had to categorize this into sort of the in vogue terminology of the day, like intermittent fasting that we've all heard about, this would kind of fall into a similar category as like the 5-2 method. A 5-2 method is like 5 days a week. Hopefully you eat really healthy. And then 2 days a week, you just limit your calories to about 500 or 600. So this is basically 3 days of that kind of approach where you limit your calories, but the calories you are getting are just nutritionally like on steroids. Like all of the stuff here is power packed nutrition. There's no bulking, there's no fillers, there's no like, it's very well handpicked nutrients as far as you get a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of healthy fats, and a certain amount of carbs, and then vitamins and minerals to go with it. It's very well selected so that although you're having less calories during each of these 3 days, roughly 550 calories, you're getting nutrition. So you're not starving yourself of any essential nutrients or whatever. So even though, Amberly's already starting this up today, she'll tell you that although it doesn't seem like a lot, you're literally having something several times a day. So it's not like you're going even for, I don't know if any of you guys have ever done like a 24-hour fast where you just don't eat anything other than drink, or drink water for 24 hours. That's like really hard. This is not that at all. Almost anybody can do this. The only people we don't really recommend are like if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, then you should probably not be doing this. But outside of that, almost anybody could really do this. And so it's not complicated. It's super easy. The system, as Brooke showed you, it literally just comes in your little packet there. You could throw that in your purse. The only thing you need is some water. That's it. Just water to mix up some of these things in. The bone broth, the little hydrate packet here that you put in your water. Like that's all you need is water. So it's handy. It's portable. It's not complicated. I don't know if you guys have benefited from this, but one of the things I love personally about just I do like an intermittent fasting style, like about a 16-8 every day. And what I love about it is for the majority of my day, I don't have to even think about food. Like, what am I going to make for breakfast? What am I going to what am I going to prepare? Like, I love this freeing, simplicity where you don't have to plan out, oh crap, what am I going to do next for my next meal? And this thing, you don't have to stress. It's literally all laid out for you. But the two things I wanted you to realize is that number one, it's not a 0-calorie fast that's going to leave you hangry and just like, oh my gosh, like where's my next thing? Like it's not that. But what it is it allows your body to get the nutrients that it needs, but without all the other stuff. Like I think this thing has two huge benefits. One is the fact that we're not going to be putting crap into our bodies for at least 3 days. Everything we're putting into it is just good, solid nutrition. So eliminating all the crap, whatever that may be for each and every one of us. I believe it or not, I like ice cream. I have a little bit of a sweet tooth. I don't have it very often, but that's like the thing that I like, And so for 3 days, I would not be having even one scoop of ice cream. I would just be doing what's in this packet. And so the benefit of putting aside all of those things that maybe we want to have a little sweet treat here and there or whatever, we're not having any of that. We're having only solid nutrition, lots of hydration. It'll give our bodies a chance to kind of reset, both from a metabolic perspective as well as from a gut health perspective. I think many people don't know that every time we eat something, it's a huge amount of energy and processing that has to occur in our gut. That's why we share with people, please don't eat right before bedtime. Try to take a 3-hour break before you go to bed after you eat dinner, because it's taxing on the body to eat. And when you have simple nutrient filled things like this is not taxing your body. This is very simple. You allow your gut to kind of rest and kind of reset and restart. And so it's a simple system. I think it's beautiful. And not only, like, if you're like me, I don't want to lose a single pound, but I'm going to be doing this because I know that I will get sufficient, over the 3 days, I'm getting still over 1,600 calories in that 3 days. I'm not going to lose muscle mass because that doesn't typically occur until several days of basically 0 calorie. And I'm not probably going to work out my hardest during this thing, but I'll still move my body every day. I'll go surfing every day like I always do. It's not going to really limit me either. But you can be kind of confident that you're not going to go out and lose all your muscle mass because you did this 3-day thing, because you're actually getting protein. The protein shake that Brooke showed you, it has 21 grams of protein just right there. So you're getting the essential nutrients. You're not going to lose out on your, muscle. You're not going to lose muscle over this. And yet you're going to be giving your body those essential nutrients and then a chance to kind of restart things so that you're ready for the rest of the month and the rest of your life. I think it's super exciting.
Yeah, so I did work out during the reset. I have a strong workout habit, and so I wanted to see what it would be like for me to just keep my regular routine. I lost 5 pounds. I had put on 5 pounds during COVID, and so I lost that 5 pounds. I did do my normal workouts. I would say I pulled back on my intensity about 10%, and I listened to my body. So I'm just going to hit home on the products real quick in the reset. Okay, these are the 3 packets. This is the shake. It is 21 grams of protein, almost no sugar. There's a collagen bone broth, which is 20 grams of collagen protein. A tomato collagen soup, which is another 20 grams of protein. The Smart Stack bar is 7 grams of protein. So if we add that all together, we're getting 68 grams of protein, almost all protein. And the beautiful part about this is this is gonna help your body get into fat burning metabolism. It's not a juice fast where juice breaks down into glucose. Glucose is sugar, and your body does not get into the fat burning mode when you're feeding it sugar. And so this is getting us into the fat burning mode. That's why we say it resets your metabolism. But like Thomas talked about, it also resets your gut, because when you're not putting your normal processed foods, your sugars, carbs, alcohol, because you're going to abstain from alcohol as well, you're not feeding the bad microbes. And when you're not feeding the bad microbes, you're starving them. But what you're also doing is there are prebiotic fibers in here. 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 You are feeding the good microbes. And so you're having this restoration of the gut because you're feeding the good, starving the bad. So it's not just about weight loss. It really is about resetting and allowing your body to rest and repair. It's not only weight, it's so much more than that. And that's why this is something that I'm so excited about. I also think that they masterfully put the routine together in such a way to support you throughout the day so that you don't feel like you're starving. Every 2 to 2.5 hours, there's something you can have. You start your day off with hydrate. You want to make sure that you're really well hydrated, and this is full of electrolytes, coconut extract, and again, nothing is artificially sweetened, colored, flavored. We don't use crap ingredients, okay? So this is how you start your day to hydrate yourself. Then, maybe you go for a walk, you do some stretching, you do your morning routine, you do your workout, you have a lean shake, right? And, you can mix this up in water, and even mixed in water, or maybe you want to do unsweetened almond milk or cashew milk or something like that. But even in water, this is creamy, it's delicious, it's smooth, it's not chalky at all. And then I feel like you get your Hunger Control Slim exactly at the right time, right? When you
Mhm.
might be starting to feel a little bit hungry,
It
like
did
late
come
morning.
at the right time. I was
Yes,
like, oh my gosh. I looked
yes,
at the back of the box and I was like, okay, wait, what do I get? Because I'm
sweet.
starting to get hungry. And it was like, oh, I get another treat. And I have to say, the bone broth soup was really good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
added some little Tabasco in there and
Oh, for sure, for
Awesome.
sure. You can, so I have like a whole slew of ideas if you want to spice up your collagen broth, but you do your slim, which is your blood sugar balancer, also has fiber in it, kind of expands in the stomach. Bada bing, bada boom, you're not starving anymore, right? And then the next thing you have is you have your, and if it's on your box, right? You can just like, okay, what am I having? You have your broth. You could add your steak seasoning to this, a little pinch of Himalayan sea salt, some Tabasco. Like, we're not adding cream, heavy whipping cream to this, okay? But like, you can add a little bit of herbs, fresh herbs, some pepper, things like that if you want to spice it up. But even alone, it's good. And so you're going to froth that up, and then mid-afternoon, you might be like, okay, man, I really want to chew on something. Who likes to chew their food? I do. Yay, you have a bar, the Smart Snack matcha vanilla, with protein, fiber, incredible ingredients. So you get to have that. Plus, maybe you're feeling a little bit of a slump, you mix up your active, right? And so that gets you through the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, where you're maybe like, I need food, right? Because that's the time of day that I would tend to maybe get a little bit more hungry with this. And you get these two things. And then for dinner, you're having your tomato collagen soup, another 20 grams of protein. Again, you can spice it up with seasonings or herbs. Maybe you want to put some fresh basil in it, or some Italian seasonings or something like that. Or you can have it alone. I had mine alone with just a pinch of sea salt, but I'm not real creative with herbs. Okay, so you do that. And then the way that you finish is you have Restore. Restore is also a supportive drink to your liver, because anytime you're doing something that's kind of like a cleanse or a fast, you are going to have a little bit of a detoxifying effect. And there is going to be, it's good. It's a good thing, but this is going to help you to restore your body while you sleep at night. It also is going to decrease that hunger hormone that would normally make your tummy grumble and make you hungry. And so you're not going to go to bed hungry, wake up hungry. I want to recommend that you drink plenty of water when you're doing this. And if you order your reset pack in combination with a starter kit of 30-day products that you would continue afterwards, which is what I recommend, because if you do the reset into a pack, you're going to maintain your results and continue your results. The cool thing about the reset that I've seen that's different than other programs is people are getting their results and they're maintaining their results. Or maybe they lose 6 pounds, but they gain back 1, but they've still ended up ahead because they've reset their cravings cues, they've reset their habits, they've reset their gut, and they're continuing on with their program. But if you tend to get just a little bit more hungry and you need a little extra, you can do a second slim, right? That's totally fine. If you want to have a second hydrate and you've got that in your starter pack, or you want to have a half of a stick of active or something, like, you can go ahead and have that. If you've got our greens, we have an incredible greens product. You can go ahead and have the greens during the cleanse. So there's a couple little things that you can add in there in addition that we have in our line that's going to support you, give you a little bit more in the way of nutrition, but not totally throw you off course. So the reset is an incredible way to just kickstart things, and also an incredible thing that you could do even on a monthly basis. Sort of like you were talking about a 5-2. It's not the kind of thing that's like, oh, I can only do this once a year or once a quarter, right?
Yeah, I mean, the
how
5-2,
many
right, is
times?
two of these days every single week. And we're just saying you could
Wow.
probably do it once a
Once a
month.
month.
And I think the cool thing is you get a couple of immediate wins, right? Number one, you put your body through 3 days with way less than you're used to, and you got a lot of good nutritional stuff in there, and you didn't touch any of your, usual kind of go-to snack foods or whatever. Like those are big wins, and most likely you probably dropped a couple of pounds. I think the average was 3 to 5 pounds
It was
across the
actually
board.
closer to 6.
Oh, was it?
It
Oh,
was
wow.
closer to 6 for the average, 5 to 6.
Yeah. So you get wins across the board. You're like, yes, I can do this. I can do without my little snack cabinet for 3 days. I know I can do that. And then later in the month, you're like, hey, I did it for 3 whole days. I didn't touch that at all. And like, I didn't die. I was okay. And then it just leads you into even healthier habits through your life, you know? So
Yeah.
it's really cool. It's empowering both mentally because you did this, it's a win. Usually you will lose a couple of pounds too, if that's something you desire. Personally, I'm not trying to lose any weight, but I think it'll be sufficient for what I need because of the protein that we talked about in it. It's kind of macronutrient heavy there, and you're getting the appropriate vitamins and minerals. And the cool thing is all of this, I was just reading through all the ingredients on all of these products, and there is almost no sugar. It's amazing that they really refined the ingredients list super well, because what gets you out of this metabolic reset and the fat burn is anything that's sugary, right? Carbs send your insulin up, and most of us know this, but it's not fat that makes you fat. It's the carbs that make you fat because they turn on insulin, which stores sugar as fat. So the cool thing about how this is set up is there's very little carbs, but you're still getting protein. And the carbs that are there, they're almost all prebiotic carbs, which are feeding the gut bacteria, the good ones that you want to grow and proliferate. So when you look at the label and it says total carbs 4 grams, and then you go down, you're like, oh, total sugar 0, added sugar 0. Oh, I get it. It's from the prebiotic fiber, which they have to count as carbs, but in a net carb universe, that would be 0 net carbs, just to kind of put it in the terms that we're used to hearing. So really a good concept, very well sourced ingredients. I was just looking at the Restore, and it has amazing stuff like spirulina and hibiscus flower and just magnolia bark, all this berberine. Like I was just reading about in that book, Super Gut, how important berberine is. Like these guys have got it dialed in. The ingredients are top notch. So
Yes.
super pumped about it.
I'm super
Yeah.
excited.
And you know, I have to admit something. So when I stopped drinking alcohol, I then replaced that with frozen yogurt. So I was having frozen yogurt every night, every night. And when I started taking these products, I have kicked the habit of I don't even have frozen yogurt anymore. And it wasn't something like I intentionally was like trying to do, but I think because my gut health was getting better, I wasn't craving sugar anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it's a miracle. I can be free of that. I mean, every once in a while I might have it, but I was having it every night. Like, you know, when that night comes around and you start craving, like going to the cupboard and grabbing something. And so that's
Oh
really
yeah.
dope.
Yep. I used to want chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream every night. So I wasn't even as good as you. I was going for the Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip cookie dough. And when I started on the triplex, because we didn't used to have the reset, this is a new thing. I literally almost every single night had that, and I broke up with that habit. And Thomas will tell you, I rarely have any ice cream, not because I'm exercising willpower, but because all of the living organisms literally inside of me have changed. The balance is different. And so what I want is different. Alcohol is sugar. Frozen yogurt is sugar. Yeast loves sugar. And so when you fix your gut and you get that yeast under control, you don't crave the same things. So Thomas actually has an appointment. He's going to step out. He's got to get going today, but we're going to hang around. We're going to answer some more questions about the reset, any questions you have on products, on what would be the best place to start, or any other questions. Thanks for being here.
Thank
Yeah,
you
no problem.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank
you guys
so
can
much.
reach out to
Thank
me if you need to. I'm happy to help too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Wow.
Yeah.
I am so blessed, y'all, to have them drop in and share. You know, when I want to hear big fancy words, I'm like, can you come talk about gut health? Because I'm like, all I know is it works. But I feel better and have more energy. But you can give me, you know, y'all give me the breakdown of why it works. And so I'm
Yeah.
always curious to learn. And yes, I would love if you could answer some questions.
Yeah.
If
I'd love to.
anybody has any questions, go ahead and raise your hand if you have any questions about any of the products or anything that about the reset.
Yeah. I'd love to.
Maybe-
And what I want to piggyback onto your comment about gut health is I want to be super realistic about expectations. Okay. One of the most frustrating things for me is when a client or a customer will come to me and they'll be so excited about tackling their health goals. And they're like, I'm so committed to this. And they will try it for like 2 weeks, like literally 2 weeks, or even just 60 days. And I'm like, okay, so what got you to where you are? Did you get to where you are in 2 weeks? Did you get to where you are in 60 days of habits? No, it's been like 3 decades or 2 decades or 2 years. And so I will be the first to say, don't expect a magic pill. Like, don't expect to start on a triplex or start on a gut health advanced system with a reset. And after a week, to have all of your chronic issues gone. That's fairyland. Like, that's not even realistic. And so don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste anybody's anything by starting and having an unrealistic expectation. Have a realistic expectation that it's going to take some time to dig out of the condition that you're in, but it will be the best investment you will ever make in your health. It will be the best investment because it pays dividends in the way Amberly is able to show up, in the way I'm able to show up, in the way my husband is able to show up. I have been wealthier as I've gotten healthier, but it didn't happen overnight. It happened over months and over the last couple of years, like gradually being like, okay, I feel better. No more Oreos in the cabinet. Okay, I feel better. I'm going to get off the couch and go move. Oh, okay. I learned that seed oils are terrible and cause inflammation. I'm only going to use coconut, avocado, butter, ghee, olive oil. That's what we're going to use. You know, it's like implementing the lifestyle, the movement, and the supplements, but don't start and stop 2 weeks in, 30 days in, 60 days in. Like, that's just insanity. That's you being addicted to quick fixes, magic pills, and quite honestly, things that don't work. And so Amberly's been consistent for, I think, at least a year,
A little
year and a
over
half.
a year and a half. And I have to say, I just really stuck with it every day. But the reason I stuck with it is because the biggest difference I noticed right away, because I did notice a difference right, was the energy. I felt more energized and I had more clarity. So if I get too inflamed or the pain got to be too much, I got brain fog and I could not think clear and it would scare me to death. And I'd be like, oh, I have this interview, or oh, I'm going to go speak on stage. And I hope that I don't, I hope I can think clearly. And to me, this was freedom because it gave me more clarity. It feel like it gave me the life that I want. So, and I know that sounds like that's too good to be true. Believe me, I thought it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
I had tried so many different things and nothing was working. So I kind of thought, wow, this is crazy. This is actually working. And so that's why I stuck with it. But it took a few months for me to see the results in like my ankle really going down and staying down in the inflammation. But what I noticed right away was, I'll just keep it real with y'all. There's a product called Ease. And Brooke let me try this. So we were in Florida together and she wasn't pushy. She's just like, you know what? Maybe you want to try this. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. Took it back to the hotel. And you know, when you fly and you're in humidity, well, I don't know about y'all, but I get puffy. My eyes get kind of puffy. My rings get tight on my fingers. So I took the Ease. I was expecting to wake up and look in the hotel mirror and see puffy eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh, my eyes aren't puffy. And I walked over to Brooke and I was like, Brooke, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? I was like, what's in that? I was blown away. So just keeping it real with y'all. That's how like, wow, this is amazing. So now I do not travel without it. Like if you just saw my Instagram stories, I had a picture of what I travel with. But I know that Angie had a question. She's my
Yes.
soul sister. She's a diva workout fitness girl. And I know you had a question. So
my question is I don't take whey products for years now because I have multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
And when I used to take whey protein, it caused inflammation in my body. I am milk free. So my concern is that this is whey protein based, and how clean is it? Because I worked so hard for so many years to remove that from my body that the kit looks amazing. All the ingredients look amazing. I'm so thankful that I got to be a part of this conversation and for you to really dive in and explain this kit. And I'm super excited, but I did have a little, I was just a little hesitant or concerned. So I just wanted to ask.
Sure. So that's a great question. So they did choose to do whey because the majority of our protein sales are whey. Our whey is really clean. It's a clean isolate. And my suggestion would be to try a day and see how you do. And if the whey protein shake doesn't work for you and you have a vegan, you can sub in, do that. However, I do have some people now at this point that are the same as you that have done it, and they say they're extremely sensitive, and they have not been sensitive to the bar at all. The bar is only 7 grams of clean whey protein. But these people in particular, because they already had our vegan lean shakes, our vegan lean shakes taste phenomenal and they're super well priced. And so some of those people just bought a bag of the vegan and they're subbing it in. So I have some now that are starting that are just trying the whole kit as it is, and they're going to give me feedback. So one of the things to also consider as well is that, you know, when you're eliminating every other possible food that could trigger you, right, and trigger inflammation, it may be that that small amount of whey protein that you're having because your gut is so happy is not going to trigger you, because there aren't other additives or other things that you're taking into your diet that also contribute to inflammation that maybe you're just saying is solely dairy or whey, but could be a combination of different things. So those are some things to think about. Is you could sub out the protein powder, but I am seeing that, like, absolutely, like, people haven't had an issue with the bar at all. And so that makes me think, like, maybe because it's so clean and everything is so nourishing to the body and we're removing any other possible triggers, that this is not bad. Also really interesting, I mean, if you really wanted to do a detailed study on your gut microbiome, is like you would probably be able to find out, and you can do stool tests to find out what you're really, really low in on your bacteria. And there are certain bacteria that help you to break down dairy. And so you could specifically take those strains of probiotics. It's kind of interesting thing. I have had people that on the triplex are no longer lactose sensitive. They are no longer
you know
sensitive.
what? I was a little bit, Angie, I was really a little bit nervous to have the whey protein shake because I had bought I used to try to drink those when I was a fitness instructor or trainer. And I told my husband, I said, wow, I can't believe, because I tried it this morning. I did not have, used to, I would go, oh, I'm going to get a stomach ache. I'm going to bloat up. I did not get a stomach ache. It's weird. I was surprised. I really tell you, I was like, okay, I'm going to drink this. We'll see. And used to, I would drink one of those and I would bloat up and look like 5 months pregnant. And for some reason, this is the first time that I've had this and it did not do that. And I actually just told my husband this morning, I said, I think I finally found a protein. I didn't even order it before because I was like, I'm not going to have that, because in the past, those products really gave me, they like bloated me out.
Yeah, and some people are that way. Kim just shared, she has a cousin that's severely lactose intolerant and did the box and did great. So I think it is kind of on an individualized, some people won't do whey because they're very, very strict vegan. And I would say if somebody is a strict vegan for ethical reasons, the reset's probably not for them because it has a bone broth, and so it won't be the choice for them, but maybe a triplex or some of the other products would be a great fit. But otherwise, the reset, even for our people that tend to be dairy sensitive, they seem to be doing fine, which is really, really cool, and also speaks to the quality of the protein in the products. But for some that doesn't work, sub out the vegan protein they already have.
That was such a great question. I felt the same way, Angie, the same way. Does
Thank
anybody,
you.
does anybody else have any questions before we wrap it up? We only have a few more minutes, and I just appreciate y'all being here so much. Does anybody else have any questions?
While we're waiting for a couple questions, raise your hand or type it in the chat. The other thing that I'm really passionate about, when you find something that works and when you find something that does help you feel good, like Amberly, she decided to open her mouth and share. I'm finding that people are very, very excited about the reset. There's nothing like it on the market. There are juice cleanses. There are different kinds of fasting things, honestly, that usually have products that taste disgusting. That would actually definitely be a difference in this, is like, it actually, you don't have to plug your nose to get it down. It's not disgusting. You don't have to have like your whole fridge full of juice bottles. It's very user friendly, clean, works, guaranteed results. People want this. I have a girl that decided to get it that has a lot of health issues. And I was talking about how it would be so much easier to do something like this with a group of friends, because it is. It's kind of hard to do like something for 3 days that you've never done. And she went and told a bunch of family about it, and 5 people in her family got a pack as well. And so I am a big believer in sharing things, not necessarily because you're like, ooh, I want to have a big business or I want to get lots of referral credits or whatever, but from the standpoint of, number one, we know that when people do things in groups, they're more successful. I know that from group exercise, right? January, everybody comes into the gym, everybody's pumped, everybody's hyped. But if they don't come in with a group of friends or a group of girlfriends, or they don't commit to walking every day with their group of friends, they are not going to be there in 2 weeks. They're not going to be on the program. They're not going to be doing the thing. And so we know that accountability is huge for results. And what it does is it creates accountability for you. It creates accountability for them. Everybody sticks with it. Okay. The second thing is, there are people out there that are looking for something, just like Amberly was struggling with different things. I didn't know all the things she was struggling with. I just knew that I had something that could potentially help her, and I wanted her to try it. And I wasn't making any guarantees. This is going to take away this or that or whatever. I was like, I think you should take a look at it and try it. Like, here's some samples. It would be the same as texting your sister and saying, oh, like, I'm going to do this reset. It's 3 days. It's really simple. Everything tastes good. And I just want to lose a couple pounds from COVID, or I just want to dial in my fitness and my health routine and get back to my baseline. Do you want to do this with me? And people are looking for something like this. They just don't even know it exists. Amberly didn't even know it existed. And if I had kept it completely to myself, she wouldn't be here experiencing the results that she's experiencing. And so it's not about you, right? Obviously, there's benefits and referral credits and all this kind of great stuff that you can get. Just like if you were sharing a baby blanket on Instagram that you liked, or a meal delivery service that you liked that gave you 10% back or whatever. It's the same thing. But what you're getting here is you're getting the accountability you need to stay consistent and committed to your health results, and you're helping other people. And that feels so much better than repping a baby blanket. I'm just going to say it. It feels so much better than getting 10% back for my eyelashes or whatever. It feels amazing to be able to see people feel good. So I want to encourage you to gather your own group of people to do this with you. It's not hard. We have a great video you can share, or you can share the recording of this call. I've loved being here with you, Amberly, and sorry Thomas had to bug out early for that appointment, but we loved sharing this, and thanks for having us.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for dropping in. And I love when Thomas starts talking about all, like, getting all technical with the gut health stuff. And thanks to everyone who came and learned more. And please just, reach out to me and I can give you all that you need to know. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram at Amberly Lago Motivation, and I'm happy to help you get started. I am excited that I'll be able to eat my bar soon because I feel like chewing on something, but I have loved it so far. I've done really well. So yeah, who wants to do it with me? I'm on day one. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do this. So thank y'all for coming in. I loved all the comments that you dropped in. Brooke, I love you. Thank you for sharing this with me. So it changed my life, and so I can share it with others. And everybody have a great day, and reach out to me. I can answer any questions, or reach out to Brooke at Brooke Hemingway Half Dozen. Or do you, how do you want them to reach out?
Yeah, that's great. Hemingway Half Dozen on Instagram.
Okay. Y'all have a great day. Love you. Thank you.